Courage is contagious.
For Australian Julian Assange, controversy is a daily expectation, but even by the Wikileaks founders' standards, this was a very big day.
It is of such scope that it eclipses the economic ability of the press to go through it.
What do you do when 92,000 classified documents fall into your lap, detailing the progress or otherwise of the war in Afghanistan? The strategy was to spread the load, give the information to 3 globally respected publications, Der Spiegel in Germany, the New York Times and the Guardian in Britain.
It is up to a court to decide clearly whether something is in the end a crime. That said, prima facie, there does appear to be evidence of war crimes in this material.
The documents analysed so far reveal hundreds of civilians killed by coalition forces, detail a covert kill or capture unit formed to hunt down Taliban leaders, and describe an escalation of the war by the Taliban, now armed with surface-to-air missiles. The authenticity of these US Army documents hasn't been challenged, but it doesn't mean they're accurate, particularly when dealing with civilian casualties.
The US Army is an enormous boat that is extremely hard to turn around, and the cover-up of those sorts of crimes begins at the bottom and moves its way to the top. So it is quite hard to enact a new policy and have it filter down to a change in practice.
So far, just a fraction of the documents have been thoroughly examined, but already their release has brought condemnation from the Americans and greeted with classic British understatement.
They should not be damaging to the international effort. We saw last week in Afghanistan the huge progress that is being made, the phenomenal challenges that are still in front of us in Afghanistan, but the fact that a good deal of progress is being made.
With powerful foes, Julian Assange is in no doubt he's being watched.
The Australian government was asked by the United States to engage in certain forms of surveillance of my person and other Wikileaks people in Australia. That source says most of those requests were rejected by the Australian government.
And he says buried amongst the thousands of documents are some incidents involving Australian troops.
But there are a number of references to Australia.
Escalation of forces.
Yeah, so a shooting passing a convoy, as an example. But I haven't looked at that material in detail, so I'm not qualified to speak about it. But there are a number of reports that concern Australian troops.
Given the sheer volume of information available, it could be months or longer before all the documents have been analysed, and there are tens of thousands more to come. Philip Williams, ABC News, London.